Why don't you go ahead and take it away?
Thanks, Kim, and just validate you can hear me?
I can hear you. And
Excellent.
Dave is here as well for commentary as well. Dave Carlton, I apologize, Dave, who heads up our supply chain of business here for InterDyn. Go ahead.
Excellent. So today we're going to talk a little bit more about the supply chain, and in particular wholesalers, distributors, and manufacturers, and how Sana is bringing a solution to market that offers wholesale distributors and manufacturers a shortcut to e-commerce. And what does that mean? Well, we'll get into that today in our overview. And just some background on myself as I take us through today. I've been in the industry about 11 years, specializing in helping companies find a way to do business online, become slimmer and more, and expand faster online when it comes to utilizing their core ERP as the basis for launching their websites. Now, as we go through today and talk more about e-commerce, obviously I think a lot of people are aware that e-commerce is changing. It's evolving in a digital world. And we'll talk a little bit about how it's changing and why it's actually changing. We'll talk about some of the industry trends around this transformation, what's happening, things to look out for, and then we'll talk and conclude with how integration offers you as a business a shortcut to actually taking your business online, to selling your products and services, whether it's to the general public or to a more B2B audience in the distributor or manufacturing segments. So as we get started, obviously, as I mentioned a few moments ago, businesses are transforming, and they're transforming right now because of the way in the opportunity that e-commerce brings to the market, it brings to your business. And I think with e-commerce coming to be a bigger player in the market today, more people being willing to buy products and services online, that not only creates a challenge for you, but also an opportunity to open up your business to your customers, and also to grow and expand as a business, as e-commerce obviously allows us to get online 24/7, 365 and expand globally quickly if we do it right. So I think your partnership as a client with somebody like Sana enables you to take your business to market and master the digital transformation, which is what we're going to focus on today. So we talk about the e-commerce opportunity in itself. Well, obviously a lot of us know e-commerce all started with consumer sites, right? And that's what really drove the initial approach into e-commerce. And those sales have continued to go through the roof. In 2015, they were reported to be about $334 billion, and by 2019, they were expected to be about $480 billion in revenue generated from retail sites, as Forrester notes here, which are pretty impressive numbers. And those obviously continue to go through the roof because many customers today are demanding more Amazon-type like websites. Customers are used to buying and selling products online from Amazon, and they're used to their clean, easy to use, easy to purchase, easy to ship, easy to deliver experience that they've delivered. So we see a lot of new websites being launched in the market being very Amazon-like. And it opens up the opportunity for their customers to shop wherever, however. And we see that with the introduction of smartphones, tablets, computers. Most websites today are responsive, right? They're responding and allowing customers to shop, review, look up a service however they can, whenever they can. If they have a few minutes while they're standing in line, they can quickly find those products or services they want and do their research and comparatively shop, which is why we see the numbers around smartphone sales exploding. We look at overall sales here in 2015. Smartphone sales jumped in 2015 95% to almost 40 billion. That number is again supposed to almost double here, up to 75 billion, and will account for more than 50% of all mobile commerce. Mobile commerce is really broken down between smartphones and tablets here. So they're saying 50% of that will be done just from a smartphone. The other 50% will be on a tablet, which is massive numbers coming here. So it's not just the desktop shopping that we're all used to for years and years. Laptops are becoming a big part. Tablets are becoming a big part, and now mobile phones are starting to see that big increase in sales. And a large part of that is because companies are taking the time and investment to really personalize the experience, right? The big trend in e-commerce right now is how do I capture my customer's interest? How do I personalize and give them a more rich customer service experience than my competitors? Well, I offer things out like product comparison, reviews, I allow them to go out there and shop for a better price, but where I try to capture them in the end is by delivering the most rich customer service experience possible. And as Forrester notes here, customer experience will overtake price and product as the key brand differentiator in the future. I was at a big retail conference a few weeks back, and they were talking about trends in wholesale distribution in particular. And one of the things they talked about was you see big box retailers like Macy's really struggling to make it in the market today. And one of the businesses that has really emerged as a clear victor inside of all this was Nordstrom. Nordstrom invested heavily in their ERP, heavily in their mobile experience, and heavily in an aspect of unifying their business to have a single silo approach, right? Ensuring that the data that any person across the organization, their distributors, their manufacturers, their supply chain people, their customers, their back office people, all saw the same bit of data. And what it ensured and allowed them to do was to take a product or a product line that was sold at a premium compared to somebody like Macy's and expand and gather more and more market share because they were driving that nice, rich customer service experience out to the clients, which is what people are looking for today. It's not about what's cheapest, what's easiest, but it is about, you know, can I guarantee that that product is there like they say it is? Can I guarantee that I will get my product on time? And that's what customers are looking for today, and as businesses, what we need to put ourselves in a position to do, which is deliver. So we look at some of our customers that we've helped do this for years, and Uredco is a great example. These guys invested early on. I say early on, it was several years back at this point, but 2009, they invested in implementing Sana to work with Microsoft Dynamics. And in this case, what they were focused on doing was ensure that they had minimalized the failure rate. And in their eyes, any time that a customer placed an order, they couldn't deliver that order the day that the customer needed it, they considered that a failure. So they wanted to really minimize that. And what they had in place was a separate shopping cart that didn't talk to their ERP. So they wanted to unify that experience, unify and bring it back to the single silo database that I kind of talked about earlier, and ensure seamless integration and a seamless exchange of business information, right? What I have in my ERP, my customers see prior to placing that order, prior to committing, and I can send them 300 of a particular product. I know what I'm going to get, my customers know what they're going to get, and they can count on me as a supplier, right, as a business partner, which allowed them to not only expand and roll out websites in different areas of the world, in different currencies, but also spread their brand across the world. So as we take a look at customers that have been successful doing this, we talk about the trends that are currently happening today. As we talk about many B2B websites that come to market today, we see a big transition right now. We see a lot of the websites that we're deploying, a lot of the demand that is being expected today is really being driven from retail commerce, right? Retail commerce suppliers today, they go out, they buy online. They then come to their day job where they're a B2B buyer, and they want that convenience. They want that retail experience. It's not just about give me a part number, quantity, order interface anymore. It's show me many images, show me a lot of supporting content, show me, you know, customer reviews inside of a B2B commerce portal there, which allows, again, that B2B buyer to be empowered and deliver a much cleaner, richer interface versus the traditional websites that we've seen for years, the first generation websites. And I'll talk a little bit about that as we go through today in more detail. We talk about B2B commerce, and while many of us understand that it's out there and it has been traditionally a phone and fax type experience for years, the B2B industry is expected to top 1.13 trillion by 2020. So if you go back to my retail numbers a couple minutes ago, more than twice the size of the retail space. And when I say that, keep in mind, 1 in 4 B2B organizations is currently selling online. Okay, only 1 in 4, and we're seeing these type of numbers come through the market. That's why if you look, Amazon launched out a B2B marketplace a couple years ago now, almost 2. eBay has now posted revenue growth in their B2B marketplace too. eBay and Amazon are trying to eat up the B2B market from us, and it's because a lot of vendors aren't out here taking advantage, putting out shopping carts of their own, and they're losing market share to people like Amazon and eBay. But what you see here at the end here is that 80% of businesses are now planning to invest in e-commerce. So they're coming online, they're seeing that there is a tremendous market opportunity. How as a business do I get there? How do I capture a piece of the pie here of 1.13 trillion that's only a few years out. And people are doing it because they understand that their buyers are searching for products and services online, right? And if our products and services aren't out there, we can't be found. We're not even an option for them. A lot of times, companies, as they post and bring to market a website, what they find is many times that their customers were actually buying other products that they carried from a competitor because they didn't know our full rich product line. They didn't see it. Maybe we only sent out a catalog with certain products inside of it. We didn't send out a full detailed catalog. A website is a nice, simple way to get all the products and services we have out to our customers, to educate them on what we can offer, what we can deliver to them. And many times I speak to individuals who say, you know what, our customers aren't ready to start purchasing products online. Well, when, again, you look at the statistics, 68% of them are already purchasing online. They might not be doing it from you because you don't have a portal in place, but they're definitely doing it from someone else. So things to consider as a business as we go to market and try to get in touch with the current trend in the e-commerce movement that is at hand. So we put the numbers here side by side in terms of B2B commerce on the top and retail commerce on the bottom. Again, a really steady growth of about 10% year over year as we take a look at the U.S. market, accounting for about 1.13 trillion. Massive numbers here. And again, the B2B market in particular growing steadily just at about 12% compared to retail at about 10%. Some of the reasons that B2B commerce continues to trend up is retailers are already on board. And now they have and see the need for the digital transformation is clear in most B2B businesses. Most companies understand that that is something that their business needs to be doing. There is obviously a challenge for most of those businesses because of the fact that the ERP is such an integral role in their business. And it's hard for companies to understand, you know what, I've invested in this ERP, I've structured all my pricing, I have all my customers, I have all my order history. Well, how do I take all this great data, great information, and get it out to my customers? Which is why we see people who have invested initially in standing up a shopping cart now coming back to the table looking to replace that with the second generation e-commerce platform that's integrated. And they look to integrate this information because of the fact that nobody wants to manage two databases. Nobody wants to have to dealing with setting up complex pricing in their ERP, which the ERP can handle very well. But then I need to now come out to my shopping cart and figure out how do I reinvent the wheel? How do I now take that complex pricing that my ERP can handle and find a way for my shopping cart to communicate and show that information out to my manufacturers? How do I get a large product database of information with a lot of supporting content information, CAD drawings, PDFs, data sheets, and get that unique information out to my customers? When I'm often kitting products, having products that are being configured on the fly, utilizing bill of material, and not only needing a website that can create orders, but have initially a quote created and converted to an order at a later date. All things that should be possible inside of a shopping cart for you and your business to ensure that we're delivering that rich customer service experience. And this is where companies really struggle. But what I can tell you is that there are solutions out there like Sana that can provide you with that. We did that for Van Oman. Van Oman was a big tool manufacturer here and wholesaler. And their challenge as a business was the fact that, you know what, they not only sold very unique parts in large volumes oftentimes, but it was very hard to find what exact part the client needed. So in our case, we actually called out to a third-party database of supporting product information that allowed me to configure and refine and get to the perfect item here that the customer needed based on their specifications. So we called through a separate inventory database of separate supporting product information to supplement their ERP data, in which case we were able to utilize core ERP data and supplemental information and bring that all back out to the customer, which allowed them to ensure that the customers were always buying the right products and greatly reduce the amount of returns that they saw from website orders. And when we talk about wholesalers ordering, it's unique. You know, a lot of people do it the wrong way. They come out here and they put out a retail portal and they expect their wholesalers to pick it up in order. And that's just not the case. Wholesalers want unique functionality. They understand the fact that oftentimes they want to have quick order functionality. You know, the ability to go into an old order to build my cart. You know, order from a template, do an order upload. All things that are more unique to wholesale ordering. Oftentimes they want to be able to use their own account information. potentially ship from multiple different warehouses into different locations, create a new address that I need to ship to on the fly to ensure that those shipments are always sent to the right locations and able to meet tight delivery schedules. Oftentimes these portals are hung up with unique freight costs, right? These items might have hazardous rate uplifts on side of them, or we were doing fixed freight costs on certain items that are being sold online, all things that are typically set up inside of a common wholesale distribution website that we need to be able to solve online as we go to market. And last but not least, unique catalogs, right? We can't treat everybody the same. Oftentimes if we have a SKU catalog of 30,000 SKUs, we know this particular distributor only wants to or is only interested in buying 5,000 SKUs from us. We can segment that catalog to make his life easier when he comes to browsing on our portal and looking for products or information. And then last but not least, showing relevant pricing. Nobody wants a client to log in to see somebody else's price or just to see list price. We can show them the exact price level that we've set up inside of the ERP through unique extended pricing, through trade agreements, or additional supporting pricing structure that the ERP might have or a third party may have configured to ensure that our clients see relevant information. I highlight another client of ours whose goal inevitably of moving to integration was to streamline order fulfillment. And by implementing Sana, they were able to streamline that and become 20 times faster as a business as they went through and reviewed the numbers post-implementation. What they were able to do was provide their customers, their wholesalers, as well as retailers, a clear, concise online portal that showed all of their products and availability in real time. As a result, the process from an order to shipping aspect was fully automated. Orders that were placed online were immediately sent back office, and within a few minutes were in the loading docks ready to be shipped out, so they were able to offer same-day delivery out to both their wholesalers and retail clients. Not only that, but they also had multiple ERP companies set up. In this case, Sana was also able to unify all that within a single database on the back end. So there's a single admin panel to actually manage multiple implementations of Microsoft Dynamics from a company standpoint, which allowed them to launch more stores worldwide and to continue launching more stores as their company and brand expands. And we see that being very common in most distribution-based environments, in particular as every e-commerce implementation that we've done is typically a little bit different, right? How all of us manage and work with Microsoft Dynamics is different. But I think in the end, it's all about taking a product which is made, we move that, and then inevitably we deliver it to the consumer, whether it's a retailer or wholesaler who's distributing it in the end out. But again, this is very important as we look at all this information and data being transacted between one end to the other. Real-time access to information across is obviously critical. It's critical to not only have this as a business, but it's critical to open this information and data up to our customers so they can know what to expect when working with us as a business. Which is why at Sana we feel that the shortcut to e-commerce for wholesale distributors and manufacturers is integration. It's looking at our ERP. It's having a platform that allows us to go retail and sell, have a solution for our wholesale distributors, manufacturers, and have a solution for our sales reps or customers. An application that can either be hosted locally or taken to the cloud, right? Depending on where your business is at today and potentially move back and forth if needed. An application that has integration with Microsoft Dynamics, a proven integration that's been tested by Microsoft themselves, but also an application that is taking a look at some of the most complex business logic that you have set up inside of Microsoft Dynamics and seamlessly showing that data back out into your website. So at Sana, we've taken a standpoint to ensure that the data that you have in Microsoft Dynamics that you're managing on a daily basis, we merely look at, call, and push back out to the website in a real-time database. We've gone out there, we've tested our products, we've certified our products with Microsoft. We're in the equivalent TAP programs across Microsoft to ensure that we have access to new code. So if you're ever looking to update your latest to the latest and greatest version of Microsoft Dynamics that you're running, we are already going to be compatible, ready for you, ready to move forward, not only take advantage of new website functionality that we were able to provide, but also Microsoft code that you have in place. And I say this because traditionally people who come to us have built out their own website, right? They've gone out there, they've found a web store, and as a business they've invested oftentimes many dollars here to sew up that integration between the Microsoft Dynamics database and their web store database, which really requires you to rebuild a lot of complex logic. You're maintaining two systems, two databases, and oftentimes this information is being synchronized and isn't real time. Oftentimes it's out of date. And sometimes as a business, we're only able to invest and synchronize certain bits of information. Maybe we're just writing orders over to Microsoft Dynamics, but the website doesn't actually show you any orders that were manually keyed into Dynamics, for instance. Maybe we're only able to synchronize pricing, but not complex pricing. So we're, again, left managing a separate database. So at Sana here, we've ensured we cut that step out and merely take that logic that you've already set up, you're already maintaining as a business, allowing for a more cleaner, streamlined ROI as a business, providing you one system to maintain, which is Microsoft Dynamics, and one simple smart integration utilizing web service that Microsoft opens up to us. We take that a step further by going in and ensuring that we have not only just the core touch points of writing the sales transaction order, looking at availability, looking at pricing, but going into many other areas that your business would find critical down the road. Most companies, as they look to invest in e-commerce, I can tell you, are often very short-sighted, right? They understand what they want to do today. But one of the things I challenge everybody who's looking at this to do today to do is, what do I need to do in the future? In 6 months, 9 months, 18 months, as a business, being inside of e-commerce, knowing that it's changing and growing, what do we want to be doing? What other fields might we have set up in the ERP that we need to call from now? And if we implement a shopping cart, what does that mean from an investment standpoint? Does it mean that we sit on a custom-built application? Does it mean that we constantly have to go back to the pool to have a developer build out more functionality to integrate back to our ERP? Or does it mean that we look for a more feature-rich integration that can touch our ERP, that can call our core data and allow us to grow and scale as a business? And I say that because oftentimes, even as companies implement an ERP, as they invest, oftentimes, if you look at statistics here, customer service reps are inefficiently able to resolve customer issues due to the fact that they're left in disconnected systems, archaic interfaces, or multiple applications. Our goal is obviously as a business, I think, to bring integration in place, but one of the things that I think we overlook is that we always don't do a good job at sewing it all up, which is why when I mentioned this earlier, we talked about Sana having a B2X environment, being able to adhere to retail orders, wholesale, distributor-based orders, but we also provide an order entry point for salespeople and customer service. So that way our internal users, while they could also go into the ERP to get this data, could simply log into a website, have the same experience as your customers might have to create a quote, create an order, initiate a return, look at real-time pricing and availability, all on behalf of a customer, whether it be an existing or a new customer. And I think this is really critical because what it does is it gets, again, the same information. It gets your entire organization in a singular application that is working with your ERP. It's an application that, again, is cross-browser compatible. I can view it from my phone, my tablet, my desktop, and in the end, I can also view that data offline. So we also offer an ordering app or a self-service app that would allow you to log in to, say, a tablet and be able to see all that data or information all from a tablet that might be offline. So we've unified that entire experience as a business out to your organization through one application here at Sana. So as we look at that, I wanted to quickly show you guys the Sana platform. And today I actually have two different environments queued up. I have more of a wholesale-facing environment here, in which case you can see I've logged in a client that already exists inside of Microsoft Dynamics, a catalog that is being driven from the groups or customer segments that you've created inside of Microsoft Dynamics, pricing that has been already created inside of Microsoft Dynamics. It's configured with 26 different languages, with any different pricing tier that you've configured inside of Microsoft Dynamics as well from a currency standpoint. It allows for bulk order entry, filtering of products by variance. You can drill in to do bulk ordering. You can also build out your shopping cart, and when you're ready to proceed, a customer can actually check out and purchase. Once a customer is checked out and purchased on either site, whether it be a retail site or a wholesale-facing site, the customer can either create an account or choose to log in as an existing user. So I've actually taken us through two different experiences here. on 2 different portals, kind of showing the difference between the portals, both from a branding standpoint, both from a layout standpoint. Noting that the shopping cart experience is streamlined for your wholesale distributors who have already logged in, because the bill to and ship to information from the ERP is already called and accessible. We can modify that information or simply proceed, gathering not only real-time freight, and we're able to do so by looking at the weight or dimensional weight inside of Microsoft Dynamics on the item card, looking at your standard or negotiated rates with the providers of choice you'd like to turn on the portal. And then last but not least, capturing relevant purchase order information, delivery instructions, and potentially a requested delivery date. All critical information that we're able to write back inside of the core ERP table structure in Microsoft Dynamics. And when all is said and done, we enable the order to be processed, whether it go on account, which is what's going to happen for this particular B2B customer today, or we take a credit card transaction and process that credit card online real time and write the order along with the payment back into Microsoft Dynamics. So we've completely streamlined the entire order process, leaving you as a business pick, packing, and shipping back office, leaving your customer with a real-time email confirmation, the ability to reorder, the ability to edit his bill to or ship to information as needed, showing him out relevant payment discount or payment discount date details, all from the portal. And again, as modifications are made to this particular sales transaction or other sales transactions that might already exist inside of the ERP, your customers now have a singular portal to come to show any relevant information about their account online. Again, not just showing us web transactions, but any transaction that may reside inside of the Microsoft database. Now, even if this application is implemented tomorrow, we'll show you any of that historical data dating back that you might have inside of Microsoft Dynamics, which offers your customers not only an order entry point, but also a self-service point. We've done this all from, again, a template design here today, which I've shown you. I would note all of our web environments that we deploy are fully customizable. So you can create not only a unique look and feel for the website, but you can also modify the experience inside of the website with our Insight Editor. So we provide a full content management system that empowers you as a business to come out here, create your own static pages, modify your own static pages, but also ensure that as a business, you're not constantly coming back to us to make simple, small static changes to your website. So if I want to, I can log into the administrative panel, edit the current page, come into a simple text editor, and work out of a copy-paste type function, or actually work out of HTML based on your internal team's abilities. All of these changes can be made through the simple Sana interface and are all provided as standard code to the Sana application. All of this provides a means to selling online to retail customers, wholesale customers, or through your internal sales rep or customer service teams. So in summary, I wanted to kind of conclude today by noting that in every good business, any good company, there's a great company, I think, waiting to get out, a company that is future-proof. I understand that taking the first step for a business is always the hardest part. What Sana is offering any customer or client today running Microsoft Dynamics is a shortcut. It allows you to leverage your existing ERP system and investment you get with 100% seamless integration. Integration that goes back not only just to core writing of an order back or looking at pricing, but to much, much deeper depths to allow us to deliver your customers, your sales team, your business a smarter way to do e-commerce. So please take into account that obviously as we talked about today and started our presentation, businesses are obviously changing how they engage with customers in the world today. Retailers have embraced this change, and I think B2B organizations are today more than ever if you look at the statistics. So as you look and evaluate and look to grow as a business and look to invest, understand that integration in the end is the way to truly allow our businesses to grow and scale and be leaner. It's not necessarily take over the world, but it is a way to run leaner as a business, leaner as an organization, so we can add more SKUs without being tasked with adding more bodies, to take more orders and go internationally without having to invest in more bodies as well through that integration with our ERP. So I want to thank you for your time and opportunity today and consideration. And if there are any additional questions, comments, or feedback, please feel free to reach out to us for more information. And again, please feel free to visit our website under sanacommerce.com/resources. You'll see an abundance of white papers and data, in particular around B2B commerce information that will arm you as a business for common mistakes that are made, common things to look out for, and common things to consider. All great resources that are free to download out here. So if you guys do have any questions, comments, feel free to reach out to myself or visit our website, and we'd be happy to help you with it. Thank you for your time.